There are a number of Latin phrases people like to trot out when they wish to sound either ominous or slightly pretentious. I'm about to trot one out, as you can imagine. That was a little bit of foreshadowing. And this one is Si vis pacem parabellum, which roughly translates as if you want peace, prepare for war. In other words, you need to be prepared for any potential war to be able to defend your nation, or else people are simply not going to take you seriously. Now, the reason I mention is due to the rather ambitious plans to extend the Irish military, where we have this article talking about costings sourced from massive expansion of Irish military, including purchase of fighter jets. Yes, this is all very well, but these are long range plans that I can see. And whether they come to anything is another matter, since they're based on at least the next 3 or 4 years, and the government may have fallen by that point. Proposal to double naval services fleet. Well, there's another small problem with all of this, and I'm going to swap to this Wikipedia article on the Irish Defence Forces, and I'm going to highlight the active personnel with my mouse. The establishment figure for how many troops there should be at one time is 9,739. This may be slightly out of date, and it may be a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but the active personnel is 7,557. So when this was written, and it's not that long ago, I don't think, 1st of February, um, it's over 2,000 short. And the reserve forces are meant to be 4,069. So they're over 2,300 short. So all in all, we're talking about well over 4,000 men short. And that's from an organization that's very small by modern military standards. Even if you had all of those, all of them all together, you'd still be talking about less than 15,000 men. And yet it wants to jump to having, within a few years, a squadron of fighter jets, doubling the naval service, and equipping the army with modern armored vehicles. Well, they do have relatively modern armored vehicles, but they could do with a great deal more, to be quite frank. But who is going to crew all these ships? The Irish naval service at the moment has a real issues with the capability to man ships. It got down to, at one point, as this linked article notes here, naval service goes to sea without working guns because it had, at one point not too long ago, only enough people to meet, like, allow one ship to patrol Ireland's coastline, even though it has 8 ships. And it has, I believe, one in reserve, which is. Oh, no, I had to take that back. That was actually sold on. But if it can only push one ship out, and I believe 2 now at the moment, how are you going to double the capacity for the naval service? The naval service is a very small service. Its establishment figure is 1,094. So you're going to have to double it, and probably more than double it. So we're going to be looking something around probably 2 to 2,500. Still a very small navy, but where are all these people going to come from? If you want to have a squadron of fighter jets, it's not like having turboprop piston engine lightly armed trainers. You're going to need far more people to maintain those and look after them on the ground. So you can throw money at it, but you've got to find the personnel from somewhere. And people have numerous complaints about why they don't want to serve in the forces in Ireland due to pay rates, problems with having enough money to actually afford housing, etc. All of those issues would have to be addressed first. This isn't the 1950s when my own father served in the Irish Defence Forces, where they were basically, well, not being insulting to the men and women who served then. And then that in the period from the 1950s up to more recent, they were very lightly armed and realistically had very limited equipment. I can understand why the government wants to give them better equipment, but you have to sell it to the public. The public will look at that in Ireland and look askance at it and will ask, why is this money being spent? Selling defence in Ireland has never been a very easy sell. And the army and naval service and air corps have always had to fight for any money they could get to buy whatever they could, often secondhand stuff from the British or wherever. I'll wait to see if these rather ambitious plans come to anything, but I suspect some of it will be knocked on the head as time goes on.